don't like what the Israeli government is doing.
Okay.
The Israeli government and its many propaganda agents, both within Israel and in the United States, are trying to conflate criticism of the government, which is legitimate, in fact, I think necessary, and anti-Semitism, which is immoral. And they're trying to do that so you will stop criticizing the behavior of Benjamin Netanyahu. Of course, I don't think Netanyahu is the same as all Israelis. In fact, from what I read, a lot of Israelis have mixed feelings about Netanyahu, and some I know personally don't like Netanyahu. So I think people in general are kind of very similar. I think Arabs, Muslim Arabs in the West Bank, I think Iranians in Tehran, I think Jews in Tel Aviv, I think Christians in Dallas, they're all people. And there are good ones and good ones do bad things, and bad ones do good things. And like, it's all very complicated because people are complicated. So I don't like generalizing about anybody, but I will say I think your government is completely out of control. It has blood on its hands, and it's destroying your country and hurting mine. I think that's obviously true.
I want you to think carefully before you answer that question, because this interview is airing in Israel. Many Israelis watching this will not hear you as a critic of Netanyahu's policy. They will hear you as someone helping to normalize the idea that Israel is a corrupting force inside American democracy, and by extension a country that America should walk away from. What responsibility do you take for the political consequences of that message in a moment that anti-Semitism is rising, with Israel is fighting for its survival?
So what you're saying to me is, as an American, I'm not allowed to criticize Israel because, quote, anti-Semitism is rising. You are saying that, of course. And what I'm saying is Israel is a corrupting force on American politics. There are many corrupting forces on American politics. Israel's not alone in that. The pharmaceutical industry, the oil industry. I mean, there are many corrupting forces on any political body, of course, but Israel is definitely one of them, and it's a foreign country, and it should have no influence over the workings of my government. I know Israelis who are mad that the U.S. government influences politics within Israel. I understand that criticism. I feel for them. I know the feeling. I don't like it. No one should. I'm a nationalist. I care about my country. I don't want to hurt Israel, but Israel's problems are not my problem. They're different problems. Israel has different goals in this war. I wish Israel the best of luck. I don't think the United States owes Israel anything. I don't think the United States should give Israel anything. I think we should stop all aid to Israel, all special deals for Israel. Tomorrow, I think the same about England. We don't owe England anything. We don't owe Nigeria anything. I believe in the nation state. And you have not answered my core question, which is why should the United States continue to send American tax dollars in the middle of a recession to Israel, which has, again, by some measures, a higher standard of living than we do? What is the answer to that question?
I'll answer you with the words of the President Trump and Marco Rubio that you quoted before. This is an American interest. Israel is an outpost of democracy in the Middle East, and maybe the United States is using Israel as its base to do other things in the Middle East regarding energy and gas and oil. So maybe it's a mutual interest, maybe the United States is taking advantage in Israel, and you're saying that you are so weak and your leadership are so weak that we are dragging you to something that you really don't need. But this is the opposite of what your government is saying. This is my answer.
You're absolutely right. That is a, well, you've quoted them correctly. That is their answer. And and I've pushed many politicians in the United States in this. What are we getting out of this? Well, intelligence. Well, here's the intelligence that we got. In late February, the American intelligence community, the 18 American intelligence agencies, which consume tens of billions of dollars, hundreds of billions a year, all told, came to the president and said, there is no imminent, threatening Iranian nuclear program. It does not exist. They are not on the cusp of building a bomb. They have no means of sending that weapon, which doesn't exist, to our shores. They don't have ICBMs. That was the conclusion of our intelligence agencies. The Israeli intel agency came to the White House and said just the opposite. That program is real. It's an imminent danger to the United States. And if you kill the Ayatollah, the regime will collapse. And Donald Trump went with Israeli intelligence over American intelligence, and it turned out Israeli intelligence was totally wrong. Now, on purpose, I don't know. I can't prove that. But it was wrong. Our intelligence was right. Well, I don't know the answer.
That's true.
I'm telling you what I do know. I'm not just asking questions. I'm stating facts. Yeah. And the fact is that the Israelis gave Donald Trump false information, and he went with their information. And now we're in this war, which has hurt American interests in ways we can't even understand right now. And I think it's hurt Israel too, by the way. So that's just a fact. That's not anti-Semitism.
Mr. Carlson, are you running for office? Do you consider running for office?
I am not running for office. I have no plans to run for office. I'm starting to believe that the Republican Party does not serve the United States, and I certainly believe the Democratic Party does not serve the United States. So at this point, so it's mid-May 2026, I hope there is an option to those two parties, because I think they are so discredited, the lying has been so damaging to the United States that they have almost no credibility with Americans anymore. And so I hope we have an option. I would like a democracy in the United States like I'd like one in Israel. Israel's not a democracy. The United States apparently is not a democracy either. Our government keeps doing things that people don't want. So that's not democracy. It's the opposite of democracy. And I want democracy very, very much.
You said you're not running for office. So who exactly you represent with your position?
I represent only myself. I don't take money for anyone. I don't work for anyone. I see my role as articulating, saying out loud what I think is best for the United States as an American. That's it.
Because you're not just a commentator anymore. You shape opinion at a scale that rivals elected officials. So the question is legitimate. Whose interest are you actually serving? Only yourself? Or you think you have a voice of a movement?
My children, my hoped-for descendants, my neighbors, my country, that's it. And I think every commentator wants to shape public opinion. That's why you comment. And it's not surprising that commentators would have more authority than elected officials in the United States, because elected officials in the United States, for the most part, have no moral authority whatsoever. They're totally discredited through lying. No one believes them.
So you were one of Donald Trump's most consistent and vocal supporters. You called on people to vote for him. What happened?
Yes. Well, I campaigned for Trump. I spoke with the Republican National Convention. I defended Trump for many years on Fox News. What happened was the war with Iran, which I don't believe serves the interests of the United States. I think it's destructive to the United States and to the world, but mostly to the United States. I'm an American. That's what I care about. And that's something he promised he wouldn't do. For 10 years, he argued against a war like this, and then for a variety of reasons, not all of which I understand, he embarked on it. And so I can't support that. My views did not change. His did.